How are y'all doing today? My name is Andrew Chapman. I'm a graduate student in the University of Detroit Mercy cybersecurity program. Today I'm going to be discussing with you all on how to better protect yourself from cybersecurity scams and identity theft. Before I kind of jump into the presentation, I'm going to go over kind of an agenda of what we're going to be covering, and also I'm going to cover the Service Learning Institute that we're doing this project for. So as far as the agenda goes, we're going to be covering the Service Learning Institute, its mission and its value. What is a cyber scam, such as phishing, fake shopping websites, and formjacking, fake antivirus software, which is what we refer to as Scareware, travel scams, debt relief and credit repair scams. Also, what is cyber identity theft, such as account takeover fraud, debit and credit card fraud, online shopping fraud, and Internet of Things identity fraud, which we call just IoT devices. And the last thing we're going to cover is what you can do today to start protecting yourself. So here at the University of Detroit Mercy, we have a Service Learning Institute, which kind of starts the engine of learning and engagement. This has kind of been a long transition that has started since 1995 here at the University of Detroit Mercy. And we're just kind of reaching out, and our mission is kind of to give back knowledge and real world experience, educate and inform, and also to educate about, specifically for my graduate program, about cyber scams and identity theft, and teach you how to better protect yourself. Here on the bottom of the screen, there's a link to the Service Learning Institute here at the university. So if you have any questions, concerns, or just want to find out more information about it, there's a link down here at the bottom of the presentation. Okay, so what is a cyber scam? So what most people would tell you that a cyber scam is can be considered as any fraudulent crime which is conducted via a computer or computer data. Cyber scams are the most common and threatening form of fraud out there today. The cyber world has been expanding and growing throughout the 21st century, allowing scammers to hack victims' personal and financial information in a variety of ways. Cyber scammers can use the information which they gathered to then financially fund themselves. So now I'm going to kind of cover a couple of different examples of cybersecurity scams. The first one being phishing. As you can kind of tell just from the picture that I have on the slide, it's you're kind of just phishing, criminals kind of fish for customer data. And how this kind of happens in this instance is you receive an email from a seemingly familiar enterprise that you might deem trustworthy, such as your bank, school, or a retailer you visit often. The message directs you to a site that will usually request you to verify personal information such as email addresses or passwords. By providing this information, these criminals can steal your information and expose your computer to attacks by scammers. Phishing emails and text messages frequently tell stories to trick people into clicking onto a link, opening an attachment, like for example, phishing attempts you've probably seen these before. There's a lot of different things that they can come at you with to kind of tempt you into buying into their criminal advance. They may say they have noticed suspicious activity or login attempts on your account, claim there is a problem with your account or payment information, say you need to confirm or update personal information, include a fake invoice, they may ask you to click on a link or make a payment, claim you're eligible to sign up for a government refund, or even offer a coupon for free goods or services. Some of the advice I can give you when it comes to phishing is never click on links provided in emails you cannot independently confirm. Doing so could make your computer and personal information vulnerable to viruses or malware. And also, no reputable institution will ever ask you for your password or other key personal information online. Always be on the lookout for emails containing typos, grammatical errors, or suspicious looking email addresses. The next one we're going to talk about is fake shopping websites and formjacking. Formjacking is another retail scam. This happens when a legitimate retail website is hacked and shoppers get redirected to a fraudulent payment page. On this page, the scammer can steal your credit card and personal information. How to avoid this scam? Just double check that the URL on the payment page is the same as the website where you were shopping before you enter any payment details or personal information. Another cyber scam is fake antivirus software, which we like to refer to as Scareware. Fake antivirus ads usually pop-ups try to make you believe your computer's infected with a virus, just such as the picture I kind of have here on the slide. It kind of, many of you may have seen this pop-up in a random pop-up ad from a site you clicked on or something like that. A lot of these are fraudulent, fake, just trying to trick you in. They can cause havoc to your computer, or they'll try to ask you for personal information. These scammers usually kind of get you in two ways. They gain access to your credit card information, or they gain access to your computer. When you click on the download link, it gives you a virus, malware, or ransomware instead of actually antivirus software. Scammers can use this malware to access your files, send out fake emails in your name, or track your online activity. Always be wary of ads and pop-ups that prompt you to take immediate action, or ones that are hard to close. I've gotten these a couple times, just clicking on random websites. It's a pop-up after pop-up. You X out of it, another one pops up. This is kind of what I'm talking about here. Always be sure to install, update, and use real antivirus software to reduce the risk of scareware. Norton Antivirus is a popular one out there right now that a lot of corporate offices are using at the moment. This stuff like this that's been approved and is well known is something that you should probably look for. The next one is travel scams. Travel scams usually involve social media. Everybody's got social media nowadays. There's always some sort of travel ad popping up everywhere, all over these social media sites. Scammers like to post enticing photos on sites like Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, and they end up tricking some of the savviest of travelers. So just be careful looking out for those. Usually what happens is upon clicking the image, it usually will have, like, that image will be like promising you a free trip or plane tickets for free or something of that nature. You'll be prompted to either complete a survey where you enter in personal information, or open your computer up to secretly malicious software that gets downloaded. To avoid these types of scams, make sure the social media page you are on is an accredited account. I can tell you most all major airlines and travel sites link directly to their social media pages from their official website. So just make sure you're going through those proper channels and not just off some random website. The last cyber scam we're going to kind of talk about today is debt relief and credit card repair scams. These scams make the false promise to negotiate with creditors to either consolidate or settle debts, or to remove negative information from your credit report. According to the Federal Trade Commission, these operations often charge cash-strapped customers a large upfront fee, but then fail to help them settle or lower debts. To avoid these types of scams, basically what I can advise you to do is stay clear of any debt relief company that asks for fees in advance before it settles any debt. It's pretty clear if anybody's asking you to pay in advance before it settles any debt, it's probably not a legit debt relief company. Avoid any company that guarantees it can eliminate or reduce your debt by X amount by X date. Also, thoroughly research any debt relief or credit repair service you are considering. I mean, it takes a simple Google search to find out if one of these services is reputable or not by the Better Business Bureau or any of those kind of certified business associations out there. Do not be afraid to check with your state's Attorney General and Consumer Protection Agency to learn more about any company's reputation in your area. So now we're going to talk about cyber identity theft. What is cyber identity theft? Cyber identity theft happens when someone steals your digital personal identifiable information, which we call PII in the cybersecurity world. Some examples of this can include your name, your address, telephone number, email address, social security number, passport number, even your driver's license number, any financial account numbers, and also your credit card number. Criminals can obtain PII by using scams like planting malicious software on your computer. That's just one example. An instance where cyber identity theft can happen is in an account takeover fraud. Account takeover is when an individual gains access and takes control of one or more of your accounts without your knowledge or permission. When they access your account, they can do a lot of different things, but some of the most common ones are make fraudulent transactions, transfer money, gain access to additional accounts that you have, or impersonate you online. To prevent an account takeover, we strongly suggest you create strong passwords, use two-factor authentication, which would be something like including like a strong password, plus maybe you get a text on your mobile device asking for a PIN code. Or also you can use a VPN on a public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi is one of the most easiest places to get attacked by cyber criminals. So be very careful when you're accessing or getting on public Wi-Fi, because that's just not a safe haven for someone that is not adequately protected. Another example of cyber identity theft can happen in debit and credit card fraud. Debit and credit card fraud occurs when someone uses your card without your permission. Even if a criminal does not have your physical credit or debit card in hand, they can still make unauthorized transactions with your credit card number, PIN, and security code. Some examples of some ways to prevent and better protect yourself against debit and credit card fraud. Receive banking alerts. This helps out a lot. So when you go online into your online banking account, you need to set up alerts, because this is going to be one of the most important ways for you to be identified if someone is making fraudulent charges on your credit cards, debit cards, anything like that. You want to get alerted. A lot of the banks out there now and credit card companies out there now, they do a pretty good job. If there's been any kind of transaction or purchase out of state that doesn't usually occur on your card, they're going to call you. They're going to notify you. So make sure that you have these alerts turned on and that you're receiving them. Also, another way is going paperless. Eliminate the possibility of having any bank information stolen from your mailbox or dug up through your garbage or something like that, someone digging through your garbage. Another one would be do not make purchases with your debit card. I know a lot of people like to use their debit card for cash back and all that kind of stuff, but using a credit card benefits you because it gives you greater protection against these types of frauds, whereas a debit card doesn't have those protections. The last one is destroyed old debit and credit cards. Shred those things, cut them up with scissors. Just having those laying around or throwing them away. Someone digging through your trash, they can get those old cards, and maybe you threw it away and just hadn't activated your new one yet to where the old one gets canceled. Just make sure you're protecting yourself. Next, online shopping fraud. So online shopping fraud can happen in multiple ways. Criminals can hack into website accounts, then use your saved credit card information to make purchases, or criminals can compromise the website and gain access either by stealing customer information or redirecting them to a phony website. Some ways to prevent and better protect yourself against online shopping fraud: always shop, do your banking, and handle any sensitive information on a private Wi-Fi network you trust. And just going back to public Wi-Fi, it's really not safe. So make sure if you are on public Wi-Fi, be using a VPN to ensure that uh, your information and your computer and everything is safe. Also, check to see if the website you're using is secure or not. A lot of times, uh, it will have a little lock up there next to the www dot where you type in your website address. I know these can be spoofed sometimes, but just make sure you're going to reputable sites and secure ones that you know are accredited and trusted. Watch for misspelling, low quality images, too good to be true deals. These all may be signs of for online shopping fraud and other uh, things of that nature. Okay, so the last example I'm going to kind of go over with you is Internet of Things identity fraud. Internet of Things are internet connected objects that are able to collect and transfer data over a wireless network without human intervention. Everything from smartphones to household appliances to cars are now synced up to the internet and linked to one another nowadays. Internet of Things have created a new vulnerability point for hackers to exploit. This type of identity theft occurs uh, when someone exploits a security flaw in the internet connected device to gain access to your personal data. Most devices are almost always connected to important user accounts like your emails, any other like bank account, sensitive information. You usually have to set it up through a username and password, and that usually is most of the time is your like email account, for example. Each device potentially can become an entry point for a hacker. To better protect yourself on all of your IoT devices from identity fraud, you should probably periodically check your financial statements and credit reports. Change passwords frequently, often, as much as you can, because I'm not saying like every day, but at least maybe once every couple of months on all your IoT devices, because you never know. Because when you take your cell phone and you're going to Starbucks to get you a coffee, and you're on their public Wi-Fi, someone could gain access to any of your personal accounts there if you're not being safe on a VPN, and then that can lead to them getting your personal account to get access to stuff potentially maybe on your home devices. So just make sure you're always changing your passwords frequent enough. Make sure your home network has a secure password as well. Okay, so the last thing I kind of want to go over with y'all today is how to start protecting yourself. Make sure security software is current and updated regularly. When Microsoft Windows asks you to restart or shut down and update, uh, take take advantage of that. Do those things because that's just going to better protect your system. Microsoft puts out a lot of updates pretty often just because their platform operating system is an open one. So everybody has access to it. So there's always fixes coming in through Microsoft to update. Go offline when you don't need an internet connection, just to better protect yourself, because a lot of these cyber criminals, they operate over the web online for the most part. So make sure you're protecting yourself. Also, take advantage of security settings. Use pins, passcodes on social media like Facebook, Instagram. Take advantage of your privacy settings. They have a lot of important and crucial things in those settings that can help and better protect you. Manage your social media. Keep your personal and private information locked down. This is super, super important, guys. I can't stress this enough. Social engineering cyber criminals will often get your personal information with just a few data points. Anything that you're putting out there on your Facebook, personal information wise, even making posts about stuff like that, they can take those data points and pretty much from what you put out there, they can guess your password. Oh, he's into soccer and he was born in 1987. Oh, maybe his password is your favorite soccer team, like Manchester United, 1987. There you go. He's already got a few data points and can maybe guess one of your passwords if it's easy enough. So the less you share publicly, the better. Monitor your credit. Stay persistent. This is the best way to stay on top of potential threats, especially like financial credit reporting, all that kind of stuff. Think twice about using public Wi-Fi. I don't know how much I can stress this. Hackers can easily connect to public Wi-Fi and watch your every move. Use a VPN whenever you can on public Wi-Fi networks. Also, when in doubt, do not click. If it looks suspicious, delete it. Know what to do if you're also a victim of cyber identity theft or a cyber scam. If you're a victim of a cyber crime, contact the local police. They'll know who to contact through the proper channels to help resolve your case. Cyber criminals, if they steal your identity, contact the companies and banks where you know fraud occurred. Place fraud alerts and get your credit reports. And then lastly, report identity theft to the Federal Trade Commission. Well, guys, that concludes the presentation. It was a pleasure. If you do have any questions or need more information about what I presented today, you can my contact information is here on the right. My professor for cyber defense operations that I'm doing this service learning project through is Dr. Ann Conkey. She's the associate professor of cybersecurity and principal investigator for the Center of Academic Excellence in the Cyber Defense Program, and her contact information is on the left. I hope you all have a great day.